just joined in? Okay. So we've got everyone but Councilmember James. Mayor Bain, it's 5 o'clock. Did you want to call the meeting to order or give Councilmember James a minute or two?
I'll give him a minute or two, and then we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order.
Okay, just let me know when you're ready. We're going to call the meeting to order now. All right, calling the meeting of March 30th, 2020, special meeting of the City Council. Call meeting to order. We just need an adjourn to closed session.
I'd like to make a comment. May I make a comment? This is Laura Ferguson.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. I've had time to review this material since this was published on Saturday, including the email today sent by the city attorney to the council. And the closed session discussion for tonight is much broader than the parameters described on the closed session meeting agenda that was communicated to the public. I'm just very concerned about the Brown Act, and I just don't see this being in compliance with the additional information received. And I'd just like to recommend we continue this another day when the intent of the closed session can be properly described.
Is Scott online?
Yeah, if you'd like me to respond to that, Mayor.
Yes, please.
The purpose of this and the parameters of it are discussed in our closed session memo. It focuses on the threat to the security of essential public services and facilities and the lack of the public's right of access to public services and public facilities. I think that COVID-19 testing is certainly within the parameters of that. The right of the public to have that testing is, I think, an essential public service. The discussion that we're intending to have is a discussion that included the county's health department and indirectly through them, the state of California. And so I think the discussion that we've teed up is squarely within that exception. As we've noticed it. I would certainly understand if we chose not to participate.
And I'll be participating. Thank you. I must have a different agenda because it says threat to public services. That's all. I don't. It doesn't say anything about testing on my description for closed
Well,
session.
it doesn't need to because it doesn't need to. And the description that was published. The description that was published is the safe harbor that the Brown Act allows us to use for this conversation. That's broader behind closed doors than the safe harbor requires.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
Testing will be discussed. Okay.
Yeah. And if that action is taken, Laura, then of course we'll announce that as action taken when the session's over. Thanks, Mayor. That's all I have on that.
Sure, Scott, so before there's a motion to adjourn the closed session, any other questions of any council members? Kathy?
No.
Chris?
Yeah, this is Councilmember Ham. I just want to make sure then that the council members, is Laura withdrawing her concerns or is she keeping those on the record then?
I'm keeping those on the record and I'm participating in the closed session.
Will you participating in the potentially illegal closed session?
I'm participating in the closed session tonight and my comments stay on the record.
Councilor Ham, I'll move to adjourn closed session.
Okay, and I just want to make sure, Chris, before we take up your motion, Gene's still not on the line, correct? DJ. Okay. So, welcome, Gene. There's a motion by Councilmember Ham to adjourn to closed session. I'll second that motion. So, motion second on.
Hi, Mayor, I'm sorry, it's Scott. Could you ask Laura just to confirm that you're not in receipt of any comments on this item from the public?
I've not received anything.
Yeah, Laura.
Yes, I've not received anything for a closed session. I do have some comments for open session that I'll be reading at that time.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn off.
Announcements you need to make prior to closed session?
No, there's not a slide.
Okay, then I'll turn.
Before we take a vote, this is Councilmember Ham. I just want to have Scott bring Gene up to speed on what transpired before he joined the meeting, so he's aware of what's going on, in case he wants to step out of the session. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah, sure, Mayor, that's all right. Gene, this is Scott Smith. Laura Ferguson, Applicant Ferguson raised the question about whether the published agenda description covers the full scope of things that we want to talk about. And we're going to be talking about the accessibility of public facilities and services to the residents of the city during the crisis, including the possibility of access to COVID-19 testing. And I confirmed for that inquiry that the safe harbor that we've used was more than enough to give the public notice of what you're talking about. There may be additional needs to talk about action taken in a closed session, which we'll deal after it's over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Gene, is that any other follow-up questions or concerns, or are you ready to vote to the adjournment motion?
I'm good.
Okay, so motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Okay, so it passes 5-0, and on future votes related to specific matters, I'll be short to do a roll call vote.
I'll turn off the mics now and leave the room. Test, test. Sounds okay, right?
Better? Really quick, just for testing purposes, can we just do a quick roll call just to see how our audio is performing really quick for all the council members?
Sure. Kathy, do you want to go ahead and check in?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Chris. Councilman Ham. Councilman Ham. Hey, Councilmember James. Here. Hey, Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson.
Here.
All right, we're ready to go ahead and go. We're back in open session.
Great. And so, City Attorney, any reportable action taken out of closed session?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. The council had one item of reportable action, and it's text that could potentially be added to the resolution that's on your public agenda item. Mayor Bain, when it's time to do that, maybe you can propose that insert, but the council authorized that to be considered tonight. Additionally, the council considered the possibility of amending a settlement agreement with Memorial Care, and that related to the notice discussion. No action was taken on that submatter, and I mention that because Mayor Bain recused himself from that conversation due to the affiliation of some of his partners in his Los Angeles office representing Memorial Care. So there's one item of reported action that will be taken care of, I think, when you get to the resolution. And then we wanted to note that the recusal of the portion that dealt with Memorial Care. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor Bain, before we continue, can I just call the open session to order and take a quick roll just for the record?
Yeah, and I was going to suggest we do exactly that. Call the meeting to order.
Sorry about that. Okay, so Mayor Bain, we know is present. Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson?
Here.
Councilmember Ham?
Here.
Councilmember James?
Here.
Councilmember Ward?
Here.
Okay, all present. So we just need a motion to waive reading in full of all resolutions and ordinances.
It's so moved. Do you have a second?
Second, Councilmember.
So a motion by Mayor Bain, second by Councilwoman Ward. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so next item on the agenda is consideration of a resolution to the City Council, City of San Clemente, California, supplementing the City Council's proclamation of a local emergency regarding novel coronavirus COVID-19.
Okay. I don't know if we have a staff presentation on this, but if not, I know there were some public comments, correct?
I do have some public comments, yes. Would you like me to go ahead and read those?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to just set the timer, read for 3 minutes, and I'll start now. First public comment is from Maura Michalek. March 4th, 2020, California Governor Newsom declared a state of emergency to make additional resources available. And then on March 18th, he allocated $50 million to go toward buying travel trailers and renting hotel rooms to act as temporary housing for the homeless to safely practice social distancing. The County of Orange is implementing a plan to protect people at risk who are living in shelters and those who are symptomatic of coronavirus. They may be opening new makeshift shelters, but it is a known fact that people cannot adequately practice social distancing living with large groups of people. In fact, the governor directs us to have no gatherings, and the president discourages gatherings greater than 10 people, but they are not doing anything that will change the course for people living on the streets in San Clemente. San Clemente needs to act to protect its homeless residents and the greater community. We will be sending these same asks to Supervisor Bartlett, but do not think it prudent for public health to wait on an expansion of the county's plan. Many people living without homes in San Clemente are at significant risk, If they contract the virus, most are unnecessarily at greater risk of contracting the virus, and those same people can easily contribute to spreading the virus to the larger community for the following reasons. There are many seniors living in our community without homes who are at increased risk of complications and death from COVID-19. People experiencing homelessness have a higher rate of health conditions, which are known to put people at risk of more severe complications, including a higher mortality rate from COVID-19. People experiencing homelessness in town are unable to practice social distancing as is ordered by state and local authorities because of the following conditions. They are more highly dependent on others than the general population, and so must have frequent contact with people who are not members of their household. They solely use public facilities like bathrooms shared by many others. They travel all around town to meet their daily needs and touch more surfaces in general. Without the ability to store and cook food and/or due to financial constraints, they cannot limit their shopping to once every 2 weeks, so they are more frequently in stores and at restaurants. While proper hygiene is always challenging, many locations previously accessed are now closed to the public, leaving people without access to sinks with soap and water. Now they cannot wash their hands after the above activities. Most people who live on the street are dependent on public transportation for travel needs, and so are exposed to more people without the necessity of being essential workers. We are all concerned about people who are not practicing social distancing as they are contributing to the spread of COVID-19 in our community. Likewise, people experiencing homelessness in our community, unable to practice social distancing in the above described ways with no other choice, similarly contribute to the spread of the virus. So the 3 minutes is up. I will stop it there. There's a little bit more to this email, so I'll forward it to you so you can all see the full comments. So that's
Great. Thank you, Laura.
Sure, that's the first one. The second is from Jackie Tranny. I'll start the 3 minutes here. Mayor Bain, esteemed council members, city manager, and city staff. My name is Jackie Tranny. I'm a 23-year resident in San Clemente, currently residing in the Salvador neighborhood. I want to speak to this resolution's desire to empower the city manager to take additional exigent steps the city must take in connection with public facilities and services in the public safety, health and safety in response to the coronavirus pandemic. My specific suggestion and strong request is that the city utilize emergency funding granted by Governor Newsom for local governments to mobilize to deliver on his third priority in the pandemic, i.e. getting the homelessness off of the streets. I'm also aware that there is much funding for homelessness mitigation, which is unused for previous lack of political will and citizen cooperation. Money does not seem to be the issue. Therefore, in light of societal changes brought about by the pandemic, it behooves you, our leaders, to lead in the most practical and straightforward ways to solve this aspect of our current challenges. My suggestion and supporting reasons: pay for local hotel and motel rooms for our homeless neighbors. This would allow them access to hygienic practices and social distancing needed to keep themselves and the wider community safer from the virus. Supporting reasons: this approach would aid local businesses which are hurting due to canceled reservations and empty rooms. The city should negotiate rates with them for the best outcome for their business and the health of the city as a whole. It would be safer than grouping large numbers of people in a large-scale setting where even if cots are spaced properly, restrooms, kitchen facilities, doorknobs, etc. are shared, making the spread of infection more likely. It would save money versus setting up a larger scale shelter, which would need staffing. It would be far easier politically than trying to locate a large shelter in town. Thank you all for your attention and service in this difficult matter. And then she actually sent a follow-up email saying, as a follow-up to my first comment, I wish to make myself and my network of concerned citizens available to help canvass hotels and motels for their number of vacancies and the very best rate they could offer in working with the city to get homeless individuals off the streets ASAP in response to the pandemic. We could also help with information on individuals in need. So I'll stop that comment. All right, the next comment is from Lisa Zimmerman. We opened our store last summer, 2019. We were doing well and paying our bills and gaining some traction when the coronavirus hit and we were forced to close. Our rent is over $4,000 per month and we now have zero revenue. Is the city of San Clemente going to do anything to aid small businesses, rent help, or otherwise? And again, that's from Rick and Lisa Zimmerman, Kith and Kin Boutique. Our final public comment is from Vonnie Barnes. Dear council members and city manager, please contact all governmental agencies to expedite funds and directives to open the vacated Saddleback Hospital in San Clemente today. Let me just do one last check. Yep, no more emails came in, so that's all we've got.
So that's it, Laura?
That's all for public comments, yes.
Okay, great. Bob, real briefly, can you address the comments regarding the homeless issues? I know you've been in discussions with the county. I think people think that all this funding is coming to local governments, but my understanding is it's going to the county, and the county has certain actions that they're taking. Can you explain that?
Certainly, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, the county has been organizing pursuant to a directive from the state of California to address the homeless population that is at risk for COVID-19. Those are homeless individuals who are 65 years and older or have an underlying medical condition that places them at greater risk. The county is receiving about $2.6 million from the state of California for the purposes of assisting in an effort to place those at risk who are homeless into one of a variety of locations throughout the county, and it relates fundamentally to ensuring that they place those who are COVID-19 positive after being tested into different facilities than those who may be at risk but not necessarily showing symptoms. The first priority is to thin out, as it were, using that term, the current armories that they are not able to practice great social distancing in order to place those individuals out of the armories first to facilities they are calling sprung structures, and those are fundamentally tents. They'll be placing those in different locations throughout the county, along with some potential trailers, and using some county facilities that they have previously had closed for a while that are out in canyon areas, most notably the Joplin Ranch, which was used by the county probation department quite some time ago. Those that are COVID-19 positive would be going into motels that are situated again around the county, with preferences that they would be near existing hospitals. So that's fundamentally what the county is doing. None of that money is being distributed to cities to undertake any particular effort. As I understand, when this starts to roll out, it will be done by health county agency employees, and I would suspect that there may be assistance from the sheriff's department. I'm unsure of that at this juncture, but at least the county employees themselves would be reaching out to those who are homeless and still on the street, who are at-risk populations, and doing what they can to place those folks in an area where they can feel more secure, again, maintaining proper social distance. That should be underway in the not too distant future. I do not have an exact date to know when that will take place, but I will certainly advise the council, and we will have all information up on the city's website. We have a distinct page called COVID-19 when you go to the city's website, and we are placing information on that page on a regular basis. And so when this program is underway by the county, we will let everybody know. And with that, Mr. Mayor, I'll be glad to answer any questions that the council may have.
Yeah, before we get to questions from other council members, just have one other thing for Mrs. Zimmerman, who asked about aid to small businesses. Has the city or city staff looked into any available grants or funding under the CARES Act that the federal government just passed, both for our budgetary needs, which are going to be substantial in light of all of this, but also for any grants or loans or programs that might be available to help our small businesses. Have we looked at that?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the staff, in fact, I took a note of that comment and question, and we will be reaching out to our local congressman's office to try and ensure that whatever program that the federal government is undertaking, that they may be able to best avail themselves through that office, and we'll do what we can to assist if that, in fact, how that will roll out at this point.
And if I can add,
Okay, so I just asked if we, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mayor and members of the City Council, if I may add on to the City Manager Dunnick's comments, we just posted a press release that we received from the County of Orange today on our COVID-19 page. The county has initiated an economic and business recovery call center, and the press release provides information as to the number to call, which I'll give the number online, which is 714-480-6500. It's available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and there is also bilingual call center operators, and they will be helping address issues with supporting businesses, the challenges of layoffs, loans, utility reduction programs, and community resource mapping as an additional resource.
So I assume we'll put that on our website if we haven't already?
It's already on our website, and we posted it on social media this afternoon as well.
That's great. Mayor Bain, if I may, this is Laura Ferguson.
Please, Mayor
I
Pro Tem,
just
go
wanted
ahead.
to say thank you, Mayor Bain, that today the League of Cities on their updates pushed out information with a whole section in there on helping small business. So that might be something the city manager could look at and share as well. There's good links for small businesses and just what we're talking about. So thank you.
Okay. Councilmember James, any questions or comments? Unmute.
Sorry. No question. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Ham.
Yeah, it's Councilmember Ham. I just want to let all the small businesses know out there, and anybody who has small business that's struggling, they can log on to sba.gov to learn about the resources that are available to you.
Perfect. Point. Councilwoman Ward.
One comment that I would like to make, we're getting all these emails from people asking for help and what will the city do, or some of the comments are, when we're looking at things like the private golf course that is still open, that the city needs to do something. Everyone needs to know that we are trying to do everything that we can within our powers, but I'm wondering if the city needs to make some type of a press release that explains the power of the city, that we are a general law city, and that we are duty bound to follow the laws of the state of California. And in this crisis, we also have to follow what the county health officer puts out, and we will follow it. We will try to get our own input and tell the county health officer what we're seeing, but ultimately it comes down to what the county wants to do on this crisis. I'm just wondering if the council agrees that we need to do something to clarify the powers of the city, because I do feel badly when people write and say that we need to come on and do press conferences every day to tell people what is going on. But we need to better direct our residents to the powers that are doing that.
Yeah, that's well said. This is Laura Ferguson. Very well said, because the city, we don't have that regulatory authority like the county health services and the county director of public health. They oversee all the community wellness and health protection. So yes, if there's a way to make that more prominent too on our COVID-19 page and our city's website, and then just make sure whoever's fielding the calls at City Hall has a directory right in front of he or she to be able to give the appropriate numbers out. Because you're right, Councilmember Ward, we have to start really pushing pushing the correct information, like sending people to the right sources that have that regulatory authority when we don't. So thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I agree with all those comments myself. I've tried to respond to as many folks as I can, and I've gotten some comments that folks would like to see me doing regular press conferences like Mayor Garcetti, and I think this sort of falls in line that Mayor Garcetti has a big microphone up there in the city of Los Angeles that I don't have in San Clemente, but we are doing our very best to get videos and all that out to the public. Certainly on my Facebook page, we're pumping out a lot of information, as is the city, which I think is correct information that people can look at. So I agree with all those comments, and we are duty bound to follow the governor's order as well as the county health official. So I can't reiterate that enough, is we don't have our own health official in San Clemente. We're reliant entirely on the county health official or the governor to give us directions and directives. And on the Short Cliffs Golf Club, I've gotten hundreds of emails, I think, at this point about the golf club. So we're looking into that issue, and I want people to be aware that they're not ignoring that issue, but it's obviously far more complicated than just simply the city saying for that business to shut down, because the governor's order did not expressly order golf clubs to be shut down. And there is my understanding, and Bob or somebody else can correct me, but my understanding is that there is a County of Sacramento health official letter that Short Cliffs Golf Club has that they're using to justify their continuing operations. So we're looking into all of that. We obviously care dearly about the health and safety of our community. We also understand that we have to follow state law and state mandates and the county health official. So I just ask that people give us a chance to clarify those issues and go through the appropriate process on all those issues. So that's all my comments.
Mayor Van, if I could just inject for just a moment as it relates to the comments on Short Cliffs, as you were indicating just a moment ago. I did have conversations with the Sheriff's Department as well as the county's Chief Executive Officer today, specifically about Short Cliffs, and it was a conversation with other city managers, and it seems that this is an issue not just in San Clemente, but it is in and around the entire county, even where golf courses are closed, because people are going onto them and playing. Consequently, I am, at our request, we should and do expect to have a directive and response in some nature from the county as it relates to golf courses that are open or closed and how people are playing on them today. And with that information, Mr. Mayor, I'll get that out to the council, and we'll post up whatever we learned on our website as well.
Great. That's good news. I appreciate, Bob, you reaching out to the county in that regard. So I think before it's on this item, and we have the one item, and Laura, we've jumped into this agenda item, correct, regarding the resolution. So I'm happy to make the motion that we adopt staff recommendation adopting resolution number 20-24 entitled a resolution of the City Council of the City of San Clemente, California, supplementing the City Council's proclamation of a local emergency regarding novel coronavirus COVID-19 with one slight modification that I want to read in, I believe it is section 4 under additional directives. I'd like to add the additional directive of mobile testing for COVID-19 for residents with priority to 92673 and 92672 zip codes is permitted in the Regional Medical Facilities 1, RMF1 zone for the duration of this local emergency. And so with that amendment, do I have a second?
Second by Laura Ferguson.
Okay, so motion by me, second by Mayor Pro Tem Ferguson. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Councilmember Ham? Aye. Okay. Councilwoman Ward?
Aye.
Councilmember James? Aye. And so motion passes 5-0.
And do I understand you need to adjourn to closed session now? Or is the...
We do, and I just wanted to publicly myself thank city staff for all the work that they've been doing publicly. I know folks out there are rightly concerned about what's happening in the city, what the city is doing to address it, and I can say, because this has pretty much been my full-time job for the last week and a half, as I know it has been for other council members as well, we're giving every consideration, every effort to make sure that our residents are safe, but on the front lines of that are our city staff, who I think are doing an absolutely incredible job. I know, for example, that City Manager Bob Dunick and Assistant City Manager Eric Sun are spending ungodly amounts of hours in dealing with a lot of these issues. I've been on conference calls with Bob almost every night at 9 o'clock p.m., which I know as an interim city manager is not something he signed up for. So I just wanted to express my gratitude to both of them and then to the staff in general for all their work through this crisis, because I know it has not been easy. It's been taxing for everyone, but I think they've been incredibly professional throughout this. And our city's being very well taken care of and represented by staff. So I just wanted to make that comment before we adjourn back to closed session. So I'll make the motion to adjourn to closed session. Is there a second?
Second, Councilman Ham.
And if any other council member wants to make a comment about staff, I don't want to take that away from you. So there's a motion and second. Any comments from any other council members? Okay, hearing none. So motion and second, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
So give it. Okay, we are back on.
All right, so are we,
Okay, this is Councilman Ham. I move that we adjourn to the next regular council meeting to be held up via teleconference on Tuesday, April 7, 2020. The closed session will be conducted at 5 p.m. and the regular business meeting will commence at 6 p.m.
Second by Councilmember Ward. Second.
Second by Councilmember Ward. Motion second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0. All right, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.